Another day, another episode of Meet the Bird Gang. Brandon Ross. I'm joined by 2019 Orleans Firebirds pitcher Jared Shuster, Massachusetts native. Jared, how you doing back up there?
Doing well. How about you?
I'm not doing too bad. I'm in Syracuse, which typically means worse weather, but it's actually getting kind of warm and humid here, which is kind of what you get used to up here up north during the summer. And I'm sure you got plenty of those nights in Orleans last summer too. And first, let's start with your time growing up in New Bedford, Massachusetts, just a little bit off the Cape. What was it like growing up in New Bedford?
Yeah, it was awesome. I played Little League here and went to elementary school, middle school in New Bedford. So just growing up here was awesome. Sports are pretty big here. This is where my dad is from, so it was awesome. Great food here too, as well. Great seafood. So I've enjoyed growing up here.
What's some of the best seafood you can get?
Probably like lobster or clams.
I'll have to check it out if I ever swing through. So let's go to your baseball career. How'd you get started playing baseball? I know you mentioned sports were big in New Bedford growing up. I'm assuming Little League was your door in.
Yeah, I started playing baseball when I was about 6 years old, and ever since then I've kept playing.
And you played two ways for quite a while. You wound up at Tabor Academy for most of your high school days, and you're a pretty good hitter too. You hit 500 plus your junior year. So what led you down the pitching route?
Just being a left-handed pitcher is an advantage, and I always saw myself as more of a pitcher. I thought I was more talented as a pitcher, and I could go further in my career as a pitcher. And I also enjoyed it a lot more than hitting. So I just always wanted to be a pitcher.
So let's break down your pitching specifically. What kind of repertoire do you work with? You got your fastball, which is traditional. What beyond that is in your arsenal?
Yeah, I threw two different fastballs, two-seam and four-seam, and then a changeup and a curveball.
That changeup's what you got a lot of promise for. Peter Gammon's giving you the Johan Santana compliment on Twitter the other day. When did you start throwing the changeup, and how have you worked on it?
Yeah, that tweet was pretty cool, but I've always thrown a changeup from an early age, so I think doing that just helped me get a good feel for it and good practice for it, and it's just something I've always had. It's always been there with me. I'm lucky to have that pitch. It's very effective.
So you use that throughout your Tabor Academy career. You play club ball with Northeast Baseball. You end up at Wake Forest down in Winston-Salem, a little bit of a ways away from New Bedford. Tell me about how that recruiting process went down.
Yeah, so I was a little bit of a late bloomer. I didn't commit till my junior year of high school, which is kind of later than most guys are doing it nowadays. But yeah, I played on Northeast Baseball, and we had two other Wake Forest commits, and their coaches came to see them, and they saw me luckily. And I've always wanted to play in the ACC and go down south for college baseball, and the education was great as well. So I thought it was a perfect fit.
What was the thing that most wowed you about Wake Forest the first time you set foot on campus?
Well, the coaching staff is great. They're all great guys. Great people, and also like the facilities they have at Wake Forest, the pitching lab, the nutrition center, all that stuff was just really, really cool to see. And they also had some guys I knew on the team already from the Northeast, so that all helped in the decision.
It certainly can't hurt to have some familiar faces around. You get to Wake Forest, and you get off to a little bit of a slow start, to say the least. You get a lot of experience very early, 30-plus innings your freshman year, almost 70 your sophomore year, but the ERA was hovering in the 6-7 range throughout that time. Were there any things that you were kind of struggling with in getting used to the college game?
I just think my strike throwing wasn't as good as it should have been. I was kind of nibbling more than just attacking hitters and trusting my stuff, so I think that played a big part in it.
How did you work on getting that confidence back to attack hitters?
I think just like being able to trust myself and trust that I'm good enough to execute pitches and get these college hitters out.
Do you think the Cape experience was helpful for that? Because you kind of blew up the second you got there. You had a stellar season last summer.
Yeah, it definitely helped for sure. Coach Troop and Skip definitely helped me a lot in that aspect, and definitely helped me gain confidence to have that summer.
Well, Coach Kelly is definitely someone who's got a lot of experience in terms of the pitching background. He knows how to work with good arms. What was your experience with Coach Kelly in terms of your development over the course of 2019?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best coaches I've ever had. He's such a people person and a great leader. So just working with him every day, and he gives you a lot of confidence and helps you prepare mentally for each and every start. So just being there around him every day helped out a lot.
You have any favorite Coach Kelly memories up your sleeve?
I mean, maybe just when our season ended, and he gave a great speech about how he's going to miss all of us and how he loves all of us. So I think that was a pretty good moment.
And you certainly had a great summer on the Cape, both in terms of play on the field and I'm sure off the field, because everything I've been hearing about the Cape in terms of the upsides of it is the relationships you make, the people you meet. And on top of going 4-0 with a 1.4 ERA across 7 starts, 35 strikeouts to just 5 walks, what's the thing you take away from the Cape experience that you miss the most?
I mean, just playing baseball every day, especially in a time like right now when we can't, just being able to play a game every day with a bunch of great teammates and great coaching staff.
Got any favorite teammates from your time in Orleans?
I mean, Rob Emery, me and him played summer ball together the year before, so just seeing him made me feel a little more comfortable, especially since he's a catcher. So, and I like throwing to him, so that he's one of my favorite teammates from that team.
I'm sure. And Cape gets a lot of good baseball memories around the club, but it also lends a lot of way to some fun memories off the field as well. One of the most beautiful places in America. What does the Jared Schuster off day look like in the Cape League?
I mean, just going to one of the beaches with some of my teammates. This summer I roomed with Cameron Fields and Jordan Lala, so going to the beach with them. I forgot to mention them earlier, but those are two of my favorite teammates from the Cape as well. But yeah, going to the beach with them and just hanging out, going swimming and stuff, going out to eat.
All right. So you mentioned going out to eat. Say there's a game, you played early enough at one of the fields because they don't have lights. So you get out while a lot of places are still open. Where are you going to eat?
Maybe the Knack. That place had really good lobster rolls, so that's probably where I'd go.
I've heard the knack from a few people. I'll definitely need to check it out because I've actually never been to the Cape before. So I'll
Hmm.
definitely need to swing by there the first time I'm in Orleans. Uh, any favorite off days that you remember that you spent in Orleans?
I mean, honestly, we didn't have too many. There's a lot of rain delays and stuff, so it's kind of tough to remember.
Don't worry, I fully understand that. The weather last summer was not friendly, and there was that tornado too, wasn't there?
Something like that. The weather was crazy. We didn't get too many off days last summer.
Fair enough. But hey, so you have a great summer in the Cape, then you head back to Wake Forest for this year, and things are off to a good roll. You mentioned you felt more confident. Was there anything else that you think felt different about this time around?
Um, I think just my delivery felt better and more repeatable, and I was able to make quicker adjustments. So I think that helped with the strike throwing as well.
So you mentioned your delivery felt better. You looked like you were making good progress, had a couple months in the season left to go. Then the MLB draft, which is still approaching very shortly here. But then everything just comes to a screeching halt with COVID-19. What was it like for you just experiencing that shutdown?
Yeah, I was very tough. I mean, we were coming back from Coastal Carolina. We just played them in a midweek game, and we kept hearing that and the NBA was canceled, the SEC was canceled. So we were just kind of waiting, and it was really unfortunate just seeing how much work all of Wake Forest put in, and we thought we were going to be really good this year and have a chance to make it far and make it a super regional, make it to Omaha. So it was really unfortunate to have our season shut down like that.
You didn't have a lot of time this season, but are there any favorite memories from the season, even though there was not much time?
Maybe a walk-off home run against Louisville at home. Our third baseman, Will Simonet, hit a walk-off home run to beat them. I think that was a pretty cool moment. And that was our last weekend of games, so it was pretty memorable.
Well, that's certainly a way to cap things off. And with the shutdown, you're now back in New Bedford, getting ready for the draft. What has been the day-to-day looking like for you?
I mean, just because there's no word on like a season or anything, I'm kind of treating this time like the off season. So I'm getting in the weight room a lot, throwing lightly, coming back, just hanging out with family, playing some video games, maybe just some normal stuff to keep me not bored.
What have some of the video games been?
NBA or Call of Duty mostly. Those are the go-to.
Is there a best player in the Schuster household?
I'm the only one that plays, so it's got to be
Oh,
me.
oh, there you go. You got any teammates you play 2K against?
Um, Not really, just myself, I guess.
All right, fair enough. You career mode guy? I'm a career mode guy.
Yeah, it's
Fair
been
enough.
pretty fun.
Yeah. So as the draft comes closer, what has the contact been like from teams? What is the feedback that you have been getting?
Yeah, so I've had a lot of Zoom calls with different teams, and I've been in contact with them and all that stuff. I mean, I'm getting good word in, and I'm really enjoying this process and looking forward to it. It's been something I've been looked forward to for a while now.
When you're talking to those teams and they ask you, who is Jared Schuster? What do you tell them?
I just tell them I'm a very hard worker. I think that's something that describes me well, and a very good teammate as well. Always having my teammates' backs, and a humble guy too.
Final question. You have to quarantine with some of your people from Orleans. You have 3 spots on your island. Who you're bringing with you?
Um, Probably Matt Troop, Cameron Fields, and Jordan Lala. I think those would be my 3. I already room with Jordan and Cameron, so we get along well. And Troop's an awesome guy. So
What skills do each of them bring to the table?
I don't know about skills. They're just fun to hang out with. So I don't know if we get bored. It'd be pretty fun.
There you go. That's all you can really ask for. Jared, thank you so much for taking the time and best of luck with the draft.
Thank you. I appreciate it.